All right, so this is what our part 2 looked like. So what we're going to do for part 3 is we're going to simplify and abstract this even more. Hello, Jaquan. I'm going to move you into the part 1 breakout room because we are currently working on part 3 in here. Ashley, if you can hear me, please click on the click yes to the invite to go to the part 1 section, please. Okay, back to Brianna. So we're going to simplify and abstract this even more. So we're doing a third drawing on a third piece of paper. So we're going to start by redrawing our eye shape, but we're going to abstract it more. And the system that we're going to use is we're not going to use any curved lines. So we're going to draw an eye and eyelids and eyelashes, but without curving our lines. All of the lines are going to be straight. So the way I would draw, let me make that line a little thicker. The way I would draw the eye shape, that's really thick, that's actually pretty good, is to emulate or simulate that curvy football shape eye that we're used to. I am going to take some straight lines and create, I think technically this would be considered a pentagon. No. Sextagon? Whatever the thing with 6 is. But it's squished, right? So I'm still drawing that same overall shape. Yes, Brianna, good question. So you can follow along with me. I'm also recording this right now. So if I'm moving too fast for you, you can always refer back to the part 3 assignment on Canvas and this recording will be there. So, go along with me, but I might go a little fast just so I can record all of this in class today and, go at a pace that is comfortable for you. But yes, you're going to copy this. Okay. Now I'm going to draw my top eyelid. So I'm just going to kind of copy the same angles of the top of my eye. And I'm just going to do 3 connecting lines at the top, 3 connecting lines at the bottom for eyelid. All right, then we are going to draw the iris, which is like the color part of the eye. And that's just going to be a square. And then the pupil, which is the small black part of the eye. I can color that in black right now. And then I'm also going to keep this shiny part of the eye. But it's going to be a nice flat rectangle. And then the last thing I'm going to draw, I'm going to add to this before I color, are the eyelashes. And so I just got to make sure that these eyelashes are straight. Sorry, Ms. Franklin is asking me a question about the part 1 group. Okay, so let's finish drawing the lashes. Mhm. I would say no more than 7 lashes, but like I wouldn't do any fewer than 5. 4, 5. I guess bottom's only gonna get 6. Oh, that's fine. 8 is fine. 8 is fine. I was just thinking I didn't want anybody to like do too much because then the drawing might get too complicated. But yeah, 8 is fine. 8 is totally fine. Because like realistically we have like hundreds of eyelashes. So we're not doing realism, we're simplifying it, making it very flat, two-dimensional. Okay. So let's talk about what colors I'm going to use. So for my first one, the background was yellow and violet because when you mix them together, you get brown. And then my iris was red and green because when you mix them together, you get brown as well. And then the little tear duct area is red and white because when you mix red and white together, you get pink. And pink is the color I used to color in my tear duct for part 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down these secondary colors because yellow is primary and red is primary. We cannot break them down. We cannot break them down even more because they're already primary, but we can break down violet and green. And Brianna, I know you're busy drawing, but could you tell me how to make green? What 2 colors we mix together to make green? If you have a color wheel handy, it would be the 2 primary colors that are like to the left and to the right of green. Green would be in the middle of the 2 primary colors you mix together. Yes, thank you, Brianna. Green is a mixture of yellow and blue. And then do you know what 2 primary colors you mix to get violet? You're the only one in here. Otherwise, I'd pick on somebody else to tell me. Yes, perfect. Red and blue. So that means all of the areas that are either violet or green are going to be broken down. The violet areas will be broken down into red and blue, and the green areas will be broken down into yellow and blue. Um, okay, so I'm going to start with my primary colors first while I'm coloring this in, just because they're not going to get broken down. So I can just keep it simple. Start off with the simple part first. Okay, and let's also do the red part of the iris. Remembering to leave the shiny of the white. Yes, Brianna, you do the same colors as me because we're breaking down our brown and then our secondary colors in the same way. Good question. All right, so now that I have my primaries done, I'm going to break down, I'm going to start with the background. So these white parts our were violet for our part 2, and as you said, you get violet by mixing red and blue together. So I'm actually going to color in these blank spots with some red and blue horizontal stripes. Um, I chose to do horizontal stripes because there's more of a dramatic contrast because the yellow is going kind of vertically, and so this creates a nice directional change. And this part is going to represent the purple part. Just a side note while I'm working on this, for me, when I designed this lesson, I was really trying to take us all on a journey that might be similar to a journey that Piet Mondrian went on, because I don't think, we know that he didn't just suddenly start making art in the Gestalt period. He, his style changed a lot throughout the years, and one of my theories as to why his Gestalt paintings look like that is because I believe he started with realism and then slowly kept abstracting. And I don't think it's a coincidence that, everything in nature, all colors can be broken down to these three primary colors and black and white. So if you consider like a drawing of a tree, that would be like brown for the bark and green for the leaves. But Mondrian breaks it down to the primary colors that you mix to make brown and green, that like his Gestalt paintings could even be the way he views reality after it's been abstracted. Not to get too complicated. I also forgot that I didn't draw my tear duct, so I'm going to add that. I always forget to draw that. All right, back to the background. So I have my red stripes. So in between those red stripes, I'm going to color them in blue. So now all of our purple parts have been broken down to the two components of purple. There really isn't a whole lot more we can do with the tear duct because we already broke it down to red and white for part 2. So we can just do the same thing here. There's really nothing else we can do because we cannot simplify red anymore. It's already very simplified. Okay, so this part of our iris was green, And you told me that you get green by mixing blue and yellow together, which is correct. So we're going to color in that part, these blank spots in our iris with a combination of blue and yellow. I'm going to start with yellow. Oops. I'm going to start with yellow because I always start with yellow because it's really light, so it's easy to cover up versus if I colored something blue first and then I wanted to do yellow over it, it wouldn't work because yellow is not a very strong color, especially when you're using like colored pencils or markers. All right, yellow, and then the other parts of this iris, we're going to color them in blue. All right, wow, like I finished on the dot. That's great. Oh God, can I bring everybody back or is everybody just leaving? Okay, so this is the end result for part 3. As I said earlier, I'm going to put this recording in the assignment on Canvas so you will have access to it and you can take your time and get this done at your own pace. All right, everybody. Sorry we went over a little bit. I was just like so close to finishing up with Brianna, I lost track of time. But I will see some of you later. I'll see the rest of you tomorrow. Don't forget you have advisory period today. All right, thank you so much. You are free to go to your third period.